Hi, and welcome to Robinznest Knits. Today is January 7th, and we're having a sunny, snowy day here in Idaho. It's really nice to see the sun again. We've had a lot of dreariness and inversion the last 2 or 3 weeks, so it's really delightful to see some bright sun. So I just wanted to check in today and let you know what I'm doing with my knitting. I'm sitting out in my creative space, what we call the Croffice. And the reason we call it the Croffice is that this used to just be my craft room. It's where I would hang out, and I had all my stuff out here. Well, about 1.5 years ago, my husband retired. He was a pastor. And he retired and did not have a home office and really wanted one. And so I thought about it. I have a pretty big room out here, and so I said I would be happy to share it. So we kind of drew a line down the middle, and his area is over here looking very gentleman office-y. And then my area is over here. It's very messy and full of all my projects. But it's a fun place. We both enjoy it a lot, and we spend quite a bit of time out here together. So I thought I would just share with you a little bit about what I'm doing knitting-wise. And one of the things that I'm doing, I did a lot of gift knitting over Christmas, and of course knit till the very last minute. And after I finished that, I thought I am ready just to do some selfish knitting. Not that knitting is ever selfish, but I just wanted to do things that I wanted to do for me. So I had had the Legacy Fiber Arts Advent that I talked about some in my last episode. I really, really, really love every skein, a mini skein that I got. And one pattern that I've had in my Ravelry queue for several years is the Sweatshop Cowl, no, I'm gonna have to look it up. It's Helen Stewart, Sweatshop Cowl, I think. But anyway, I started knitting that. So you can see that I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm on day 5, a couple days behind. But I'm doing this cowl, and I'm so excited about it. I love how it's turning out. Of course, that's not using all the yarn, so I'm going to look that up because it's going to drive me crazy that I can't remember the name of that. It is, no, that's not it. Hang on. I'm going to search for it. I've got it here somewhere. Land of Sweets. It's the Land of Sweets cowl by Helen Stewart. And I'm just loving it. It's about 8 rows per color. Each section is a different pattern. It's just perfect for evening knitting. It's very satisfying, and I love it. Well, of course, it doesn't use all the mini skein up on that. And so then I thought, well, I've been also wanting to do the Sweatshop blanket by Penrose. And so I started doing that. So I have 2 squares done of that. Those are day 1 here, day 2 over here. And this has been so much fun. I've really enjoyed it. It is the squishiest texture. So I'm holding it double. I'm holding my fingering weight yarn double. And I'm using just a Cascades Heritage sock, I believe, for the white. It is so squishy and warm. I am going to love this blanket. So I'm doing that. And then that doesn't quite use all the yarn. That uses about 10 grams. So I have, after I do my blanket square, I have about 5 grams left. And I thought I'm going to divide those into 2.5 gram balls and make scrappy socks. So I will be getting 3 projects out of 1 advent of yarn. And I just am so excited about that. I think that's fun. So I have my Land of Sweets treats cowl, the Sweatshop blanket, and the scrappy socks. So I'm pretty excited about that. So that's all my selfish knitting that I'm doing right now. I also am finishing up a project I started for my son-in-law. Several years ago, I have another son-in-law who, he's a real baseball fan, a Mets fan. And that year the Mets went to the World Series. And so I did the Crackerjack scarf where you knit a row. You have 4 colors. You use your 4 team colors, and you have a win at home, a win away, a loss at home, a loss away. And every game is represented by that color in a scarf. Well, my other son-in-law is a Diamondbacks fan, and he loved this whole scarf idea and wanted one really badly. And so, but he didn't want one just any year. He wanted one for a year that they went to the World Series. Well, that was this year. Unfortunately, they didn't win the World Series, but he's thinking it'll be a long wait if he waits until they win the World Series. So I'm doing his scarf. So this was their first game. And the, let's see, the brown and the teal color are losses, and the black and the rust color are wins. And I'm about halfway done. It's called the Crackerjack scarf, but it's no longer, you can't get it anymore, but it's really not a pattern. It's more like a recipe. So I just do 2 rows per game. I'm using a worsted weight yarn. I just bought some, I think it's I Love yarn at Hobby Lobby. Got the colors that went the best, and then did a provisional cast on and joined it together. And then I just work in the round all the way up. And I'm about halfway done. And so he's pretty excited about it. He's gonna like that. So I need to get that done because I promised him I'd get it to him this month so he can wear it a little bit before the next season starts. So that's what I've been knitting lately. Just wanted to share a little bit about books. I love to read, and I started a new book. It's completely out of my genre of reading. I guess it's fantasy. It's called Fourth Wing. You've probably heard of it. I've just heard so many people raving about it. So I started it, and it is kind of interesting. I'm kind of getting into it. It does have some language in it. I don't like that so much, but I just try to ignore that. And it's actually pretty interesting, so I think I'm going to enjoy it. So that's what I've been reading. I like to read on my Kindle. That's kind of my favorite way to read these days. And I read a lot before I go to bed at night, or right after I go to bed. It kind of helps me relax and go to sleep. So I'm reading that. I also finished a book called How to Stay Married by Harrison Key, I believe. It was okay. It was okay. It was a kind of a true story, his story about his marriage and what happened and how they restored it. It was different, but it was okay. So that's what I've been reading. A favorite Christmas present is, I actually won it at a party, a coffee mug warmer. It works so great out here in the Crawfus because it's a little chilly out here, and I don't drink my coffee fast enough for it to stay warm. Oh, but this keeps it just right. In my new mug that I got at Disneyland, we went with our youngest daughter and her husband and their 3 kids to Disneyland. We left Christmas night and spent 4 days in the park. And we had the best time. It was so much fun. And I saw these mugs all over the park. I wasn't going to buy any souvenirs because I've been there lots of times and I sure don't need anything. But I was really attracted to these mugs, and I just kept saying, no, I don't need it. I don't need it. Well, the last day, on the 5th day, we were in downtown Disney, and I thought, if I see that mug anywhere, I'm going to buy it. If I see it one more time, I'm going to buy it. Well, sure enough, I ran into it in there. They had a little store there called Home. It had a lot of home decor. And I just think they're so cute. So I did buy it, and I don't regret it. I like it a lot. With my new coffee mug warmer, it works great. So, all right. And also, I wanted to share Robinznest Knits Etsy shop is going to be getting some new bags in it this week, and I'm very excited. My Christmas bags sold really well, and the top seller, the one that sold out and sold the quickest, were the Christmas gnomes. They were really cute. I'm not that into gnomes, but I guess a lot of people are because they sold really quick. So I found some Valentine fabric that has gnomes. So I made some bags. And the fun thing about this is that there's even a knitting gnome. Can you see that? It has a little ball of yarn, and this little gnome is just knitting away. So I thought that was pretty fun. So I made some with the gray contrast and some with the pink contrast. They're a 2-zipper bag. So the outside zipper opens and you can store scissors and needles and whatnot in there. Then it's fully lined on the inside as well. And then each bag features a removable progress marker on the zipper. And they vary. They're not all the same. But I sure enjoy making these bags. They're a lot of fun. So I have the pink and the gray. They'll be in the shop. And then I also did kind of a traditional Valentine bag. And I really, really like these as well. So they are the same. Well, this one doesn't have an outside zipper. This is just has an inside pocket. I didn't want to destroy the writing on the outside with the zipper, so I left that. Let's see. Yeah, I didn't put outside zipper on these for that reason. So they're very fun. So I have a few of these. Then I have another fabric arriving, another gnome fabric arriving. It's supposed to arrive tomorrow, and I'm really excited about it. So I'll be whipping some of those up this week as well and add those to my shop. But check it out. It's Robinznest Knits at Etsy, and see what you think. I think that's about all I have to share today. I'm going to try to do these more often, kind of keep you updated on what I'm knitting and what I want to work on. But right now I'm really enjoying these projects with the Advent yarn. I do have some whips that I haven't been working on, so I won't really share about those. But I don't know, I kind of have, I don't like to have too many projects going at a time. But I do like to have a variety of things to choose from to knit, like a lot of you do. So I have another blanket on the needles. I have a sweater on the needles. I have another sweater on the needles that's been on the needles for years. I don't know. It's actually from yarn that I spun myself from. So a few years ago, I had 2 sheep. They were Rambouillet and Border Leicester Cross, and one of them was white and one of them was, well, I thought he was gray, but when she got sheared and you washed the wool, processed the wool, it was brown. It was really interesting. So I spun the yarn, I processed it, I spun it, and I started a sweater out of that. And I ran out of yarn, so I have to spin some more. I think that's what's been holding me up on it. And when I first started spinning that fiber, I was really new and I wasn't very good at it. It's super overspun, super tight. So I don't know if I'll ever really finish it. We'll see. It's there waiting for me someday. But I think I'm gonna go. I have some our daughter that lives not far from us, the ones we went to Disneyland with, their little boy is sick. He's got RSV. He's only 2, poor baby. And he has a double ear infection. So I made some chicken noodle soup today that I'm going to take over there for him to enjoy. So I'm going to get going with that. But it was good to talk to you. And thanks for listening. And again, hit like or let me know who you are when you're watching this. I really appreciate it. And we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.